Alright, it will be time to continue with the Dormant realm. This will be the second mission. The first one was actually kinda easy. Basically you have to activate 3 towers and the mission should be completed. Now the second one is called Before the Abyss and it's a little bit different. So the team is ready. And
Undocking.
this will be the first difficulty as well because the other difficulties are currently locked. So here we are. Now our goal is to destroy the jammer towers. There is the exit gate. It looks like we are also in a similar asteroid from before, although a little bit different. Sleepers have spawned in, the bubble is up. Now, I will tell you right away that this mission is a little bit more difficult than the first one. Basically, you have to shoot down all the towers and you have to ignore the sleepers in this mission. We did not know that at the time. Basically, we started to clear the waves, just like with the previous mission. Now there are 6 of these jammer towers, and you should focus them one by one, starting with the closest tower, and then slowly you should make the way towards the most distant one. Now, the first mission did kinda feel easy enough to be doable with a battlecruiser or with a cruiser fleet. Now, this mission is a little bit different, and I would personally use the Valgorn and the Vindicator fleet for this mission. Or perhaps if you have cruisers with high DPS, you could technically destroy the towers before the sleepers destroy your ship, but that's a little bit risky. Although I believe it could be fun. Maybe I will attempt to do that, who knows? That's one of the ideas that I have for the dormant sites. Okay, I have locked all the towers. Now there is 6 of them. The first one has been destroyed. Every time you destroy one tower, the sleepers will spawn in greater numbers. So the first wave will be around 6 or 7 sleepers. After you destroy one tower, it will be 12. With 3 towers, it will be around 14, and it goes on like that. The last wave will have around 30 sleepers, and they all have scramblers, they all have webs, they have a lot of Nosferatus and a lot of neutralizers. So having a very tanky ship with a very solid capacitor is a pretty good idea. And also using a afterburner is perhaps the better choice for this mission. After all, if you get scrambled, then you will not be able to keep up with the nightmare bubble, and if that happens, you are an easy target for the sleepers. Now these ships are terrifying, I'll tell you that right away. They're serious ships, serious opponents. And I still think that drones might be the best weapon for this. Although a Vindicator and Belgorn combination is very powerful. Of course, combined with a Nightmare Bubble, and all of these ships could be built for tank. Not really sure how well would a full DPS ship do in the Dormant sites. I don't think that they would live that long because the sleepers have some very serious DPS. Now you might be thinking that it's doable if you are inside of the Nightmare Bubble, and it's true, you can do that in such a way. But the sleepers will orbit inside of the Nightmare Bubble. They orbit at around 4 to 5 kilometers. So if you're a sniper or a ship with full DPS and the sleepers start to shoot you inside of the bubble, then the Nightmare Bubble will not protect you. So a tank build is recommended for these sites. And I can tell you, I have seen a lot of ships be destroyed inside of the Dormant sites. Some of them were very expensive and very tanky. One rattlesnake had like full-on 4P rig integrations, a full brick tank, and it got destroyed without a Nightmare Bubble very easily, and that is a little bit scary, to be honest. Okay, we are using the same tactic as before. We have one Apocalypse Striker, one Abaddon, one Bubble, and a Vigilant for webs. Vigilant should be calling targets that we focus, which, by the way, we shouldn't be focusing on the sleepers. We should be focusing on shooting down the towers. Basically, this is a race against time. They will spawn indefinitely. You have to kill the towers before the sleepers kill you. That's basically the goal of this mission, which is okay. It's quite fun, honestly. It is fun and at the same time challenging. If you don't have enough IP to recover the ship, don't do the Dormant sites, because the chances are that you might lose your ship in the first couple tries, especially at the higher difficulties. So in my case, I will wait for the implants to be available on the market and just buy the implants on the market. Now I know at first they will be quite expensive, I'm well aware of that, but as time goes on the price should, you know, go down a little bit. I will be happy with the normal implants, although my goal is to have implants for all the ships that I use. Now last time I actually forgot to tell you that this implant system also reminded me on one of the games that I used to play a long time ago, which is very interesting. Did not expect to see a similar implant system in another game that I like to play. Now we have 16 sleepers, and well, we are still shooting at the wrong target, but that's okay. Again, at the time we did not know what to do. We thought that the waves will not spawn indefinitely. We were wrong. Oh, we were wrong. And the ending of this later on is interesting. I will not spoil much, but you will see what will happen. So I got scrambled. They have a tracking disruptor. They have a lot of electronic warfare modules on this ship. Now the only ship that you could technically focus is the ship that will web and scramble or point your ship. That way you could easily jump out if necessary. But that's basically the only ship that I would focus, because the primary target should be the tower. Now of course that's just how I look at one of the tactics, how to clear this. Now, maybe a sniper fleet can actually work here if you somehow manage to make the sleepers follow the tankiest ship. But I've noticed that the sleepers change target from time to time, and I haven't really noticed that they focus the closest ship. They practically shoot randomly, which would prevent from using the ships as snipers. Perhaps a tanky sniper. They could technically sit at the spawn point and snipe the towers while the nightmare will keep the ships safe. And perhaps using a logistic ship is a good idea. Of course, we did not have a logistic ship to test that out. Perhaps we will do that next time. So far the capacitor is holding out. Now, one thing that you have to pay close attention to while running this exact mission is the capacitor. They will have a lot of neutralizers on your ship in the last couple waves, as you will see. So capacitor batteries and capacitor rigs are going to be very important. Now, last time I was very surprised when I looked at the capacitor rigs. They have skyrocketed in price. Basically, their price has increased 5 times, which is a significant change, honestly. They used to be 60 million, now they are 300 million, and that's a massive difference. I guess it's because of the Dormant sites. So if you have a lot of the blueprints for the capacitor rigs, then now it's the time to make them, and now it's the time to sell them. Haven't expected to see industry benefit from the new sites, but I guess they do benefit. Haven't really checked all the other rigs. I'm pretty sure a lot of other rigs have also increased in price. I will actually check that right away. but I don't think that that's the case. I see that some tier 4 rigs have a official price tag at 1.5 billion for the tier 4 weapon rigs, 1.8 billion for the armor rigs, fighter rigs. I'm not going to even look at, they are expensive by default. Well, everything went up in price. Isn't that lovely? Now the capacitor rigs actually went down to 120 million. Very interesting. Not really sure what happened there, but okay. Well, yes, the capacitor rigs did go up the most. There is 17. There were 18 sleepers in the mission. So as you can see, as you destroy the towers, more and more sleepers will spawn in. And the goal here is to tank all of the ships while you shoot down the towers, which honestly isn't that difficult. It just took some time to figure out what's going on. There was also the chance that after you destroy all towers that you have to destroy the sleepers, and if that happened, well, yeah, that would be a problem. That would be a problem. But so far, I would say it's going okay. Not really smooth as I would expect, but you know, it's going okay. The main thing about this is not to get scrambled and not to get caught outside of the nightmare bubble. Looks like the sleepers use missiles. Okay. There is a lot of different weapon systems running around here. The last like 2 or 3 updates did bring very nice graphical changes to the game. The new mission effects, the new graphics, I would say, because the game looks, I would say, looks a little bit better than before. There is a lot of other atmospheric effects, as you could see when you look at the sun. You can see the particles and the shadows and things like that, which is very nice. Nice little attention to detail. I think we have 2 towers that remain. The last tower is 86 kilometers away from us, so that should be fun to approach. "19 sleepers have spawned in. For this mission, a afterburner is definitely the way to go, but I might be wrong. Depends on how quickly you can shoot down the towers. Or perhaps a sniper fleet also works, that's close to the escape gate. But remember, if you are scrambled or pointed, you can't jump out. So keep that in mind. You don't want to leave your corp mates behind, because alone, yeah, they will kill your ship without a problem. I have been scrambled and I have been webbed. Okay. Now if you are scrambled and webbed, it's important to notify the nightmare pilot so that they don't leave your side until the webs and scramblers have been lifted. If you get left behind, yeah, you will need a new ship. That's basically the long story short version of what's going to happen if you get caught outside of the nightmare bubble. The whole aspect of losing the ship made this a lot more exciting, to be honest. You know, the previous modes were okay, but I wasn't really enjoying the fact that you can't lose your ship if you get destroyed. This mode changes that a lot. Now if you lose your ship, well, or use the IP to get the ship back, because if you lose your ship, yeah, the loss will be real, and I'm personally okay with that. After all, this is Eve that we're talking about, so that should be the thing. Now our Abaddon has been caught outside of the bubble, and now we will attempt to go close to the Abaddon just to protect the ship. Okay, looks like they are inside of the nightmare bubble now, but I am outside of the bubble, and actually no, I'm on the edge. Okay, I'm still inside, barely. Let's approach the tower. My capacitor is getting low. 5 Nosferatus and 4 neutralizers are destroying my capacitor. Most of our ships here are already at very low capacitor, so dual or triple capacitor batteries is most likely the way to go if you plan to go with close range. This is the last tower. My armor taking some hits. Now this ship that I'm currently flying isn't that expensive. I actually picked very cheap equipment just in case it goes down. And this is the moment where I noticed that the shield, armor and hull UI resembles the one in EVE Online, just, you know, needs to rotate a little bit more and it will be identical, which is a nice little detail. The overall UI change feels nice. I personally like it a lot. We are almost within the range of the tower. The tracking disruptors are serious in the Dormant sites, as you can see. Usually the Apocalypse Striker has around 70 kilometers range with the pulse lasers. Now I barely hit at 44 kilometers. When I say barely hit, I do exactly no damage to the tower. Capacitor battery is up and running. Ship is barely holding. The Nightmare is also slowly going down. When the Nightmare dies, the whole fleet will die. So that's a little risk. that we are taking at the moment. The tower is now taking a lot more damage. I thought about using the siege mode, but because of the tracking disruptors, probably would not do much damage to the tower. So I did not use the siege mode throughout the dormant sites. And my capacitor is officially dead. That's not a good thing. And the tower has been destroyed. Well, the mission should be over. I hope. And I think it is over. Nice. Okay. Challenge completed. This was stressful, I can tell you that. It was stressful, but it was fun. 26 minutes and 33 seconds. Well, not bad. Well, we haven't lost any ship yet, so that's good. That's a good thing. And this was the second dormant site mission. Overall, they're quite fun. They're challenging, and you should definitely bring a pretty decent build with a pretty decent fleet if you plan to run the dormant sites. So with that being said, hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.